ARWP, the All Real Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Novak of the Wrestling Republic, and today we have a very special guest from the United Empire, the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman.
That's me, baby. We're here.
We are here. Man, wow. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Some of the greatest that I've ever wrestled have been in that ring. How does it feel to be finally in New Japan?
Oh, it's sick. I fucking love it. Like, it was at the start of last year. I said to myself, I'm going to give myself maybe 2 or 3 years to get at least noticed by New Japan. And then 6 months in, I got the call to go. And then 8 months in, I debuted. I was like, well, this is sweet. Life's great. And I'm living here, living the dream. So I can't ask for anything more, really.
And you're currently on tour right now, right?
Yeah, doing all of Hokkaido. We go back to Tokyo day after tomorrow, and then maybe 4 days off to myself. Then we drive to Kobe. Then after that, fly back to Tokyo. Then maybe a few more, maybe a week off, then go back on tour.
Wow, that's the schedule of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's never ending, never ending. So let's...
The weeks off, I'll say the weeks off feel like months. It's great.
So let's talk about way before New Japan. Let's talk about, you starting out. What made you want to do pro wrestling?
Don't know really. My mum wanted me to get into it. So like, my granddad used to be a wrestler. Then, just like by chance, a school popped up. Well, not a school, a show popped up near our house. Then my mum was like, oh, we're going to go. Then this school, just happened to do training. And my mum and dad always want us to do something. So like, Callum, you're an idiot. You can try this one. Younger brother wasn't really old enough to do anything yet. Older brother was loving football. Then mum and dad was like it, you can try this. And then when I first tried it, I thought, oh, this is cool. Then I started watching it more. And that's when I started really getting into it more. I was like, cool, I want to stick to it and be a wrestler.
That's insane. So your family got you into pro wrestling? I've never heard that story.
Yeah, literally, my mum and dad, they were always like, they never wanted us to not do anything. So they was like, this has popped up. Callum's an idiot. You try this one. You want to be a Power Ranger? Off you go.
Yeah, most parents, offer swimming, basketball, football, all the sports, but never, wrestling. Pro wrestling is the first choice. So that's pretty unique.
Yeah, they were just like, this is different. You might like it. Try it. If you don't like it, say no. Try something else. Sweet.
Were you ever a wrestling fan? Did you ever watch wrestling growing up as a kid?
I don't know. Like, I think if I did, I was definitely too young to remember. I think I maybe saw the action figures and stuff, but I don't remember seeing wrestling before I started training, apart from that first show that I went to. I think I might have seen maybe something on YouTube. I genuinely don't know. I think I was just too young to remember. But then just started bumping. Then I started watching, just typed in pro wrestling on YouTube, and then just everything was WWE. So for years I was watching loads of WWE. Then maybe when I started finding about Japanese wrestling, I was 13, which is all Dragon Gate. So I love Dragon Gate. Then after that, I started finding about Noah, then New Japan. And then we're here.
What's your earliest memory with pro wrestling? What's the most, what can you remember? Again, like you said, you watched a bunch of stuff. If you can't remember the earliest, what's just the most oh, I know this for sure. I know I watched this, may have been one of the first things I watched in professional wrestling. So you said WWE, you said that was the first thing you watched. What's just one thing that you remember, I guess? This has to be the earliest memory.
It's not even wrestling. It's John Morrison doing parkour in the backstage area. that's genuinely the first, what's your first memory? Is literally John Morrison jumping about over boxes. That's it.
I remember that segment. It's the one where he's doing the interview and then he leaves by doing the parkour. He runs away doing the parkour. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm not surprised by you that would be your favorite memory, I'm not surprised.
Like I remember, like I watched that. Then I remember like was it AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler, like the NXT, but like the one where they had to do the assault courses, like they had like the rookie and the mentor.
Yeah, there were the NXT. I remember that. It was like the first season of NXT, or like the second one where Miz was there. I
And
think
like low key, like
Loki. You know,
I remember that.
it's good we bring up, Dolph Ziggler and you watching all that when Nick Nemeth, I believe, is on the roster for New Japan, once in a while. Is that someone that you definitely want to get in the ring with?
He wants to wrestle me. I was like, yeah, I was like, this is cool. I can I'm like getting changed and I'm sat next to Dolph Ziggler. Oh, that's cool. But he's not Nick Nemeth. He's always going to be Dolph Ziggler. And then he goes home, puts on Twitter, "Oh, I want to wrestle Callum." Like he put a load of names, and my name was in the list. I was like, "Well, that's fucking cool." Like I like watched a YouTube video of you selling on how to sell, and now you want to wrestle me. That's pretty dope, to be fair.
Did you get to watch his matches from New Japan live? Because I know you're there. So what was the most interesting thing about learning from or talking to Dolph Ziggler, even in the locker room, if there was any small conversation?
Well, nothing really. He watched one of my matches in Sapporo, just saying like, it was like, "Fuck, you really are fast." That's my whole deal, mate. Because everyone, like, they first look at me and they think it's like a bullshit, and then I think he thought the same. And then after, it's like, "Fuck, you are quick." I'm like, "Yeah, mate, And then just like watching him, like definitely like, a lot the way he sells, the way he moves, what he does after a move, stuff like that. That was definitely like a lot of homework to pick up on. That was real cool.
Yeah, New Japan's always doing some amazing stuff by bringing in talent from all over the place. So, with that being said, let's go to the next question. You never know who could show up in New Japan. And I'm sure you have this amazing list of people you want to face. Who is someone that you want to face in New Japan? Who would be your dream singles match? Or just something that you'd want coming up? It doesn't have to be singles. It could be tag team. It could be factions. Just something interesting.
On the roster now.
It could be anyone from any company, any place.
Oh. Right now.
Callum's just over here, like, I'm trying to do my thing day by day. I don't even think about, what I'm gonna have for breakfast.
Literally, bro. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I genuinely just live day by day. Everyone thinks I'm thinking like 10 steps ahead, brother. I'm the stupidest person you ever meet.
Oh, stop it.
Mate. Someone said to me the other day, they was like, "What hour?" Something like, "What hour does your 24-hour clock end in?" And I went 0, and they went, "You're definitely from Essex." It's like,
I don't even know what that
means.
Do you mean? I don't even know what that means either. The hell does that mean?
That's what I said. But who would I want to wrestle? I said before, I was like, give me maybe another a year, 2 years, and I'd want to wrestle Takeshita.
Oh, okay.
It's a shame. 2 years.
It's a shame we didn't see you guys in the G1. You guys were in like separate blocks from the G1, so it's a shame we didn't get to see you. Were you disappointed about that Takeshita?
Not really, because it would have been cool. It definitely would have been a good learning experience, but I want that match to be a complete different level to what I could bring to everyone else, because he was bringing everyone up. But I selfishly, I kind of didn't want him to bring me up. I kind of wanted us. I mean, he will no matter what, but I kind of want me to kind of get as close to his level as I possibly can, so that when we do fight, it's like kind of an even playing field, rather than I'm going to teach you and I'm going to get you through this. Like, no, we're like here. Like now it's like this, but by the time like I get 2 years, I get to that, it's going to be like here. So it's kind of even footing.
You know what's great about the fact that you're saying that? And I'm going to use an example that you're familiar with, Ospreay and Ricochet. They didn't have to fight once or twice. It was the first time they fought that there was an instant chemistry and the world always remembered. That's kind of what you're savoring. You're like, I'm gonna wait because I don't think I'm ready. He might be ready. I'm not ready. People might say I'm good, but I want to be great. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at, and that's amazing because when it happens, the whole world's gonna be talking about it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. That's why I know. Not that I don't want to say I know, but like I firmly believe that I will be, if not better, but at least on the same level as Will one day.
Oh,
He's told me from the jump. I didn't really believe it, but then it's like the last kind of few months of being in Japan and just kind of learning from everyone. It's definitely been like, if I stick with everyone now and doing what I'm doing, maybe the next, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years, I reckon I could show everyone that I'm pushing to be up on that level a little bit more.
listen, we'll definitely have to talk about Will. Big inspiration, big part of your life. So much, so many people have so many questions about who is the person, or even what it's like being under his wing, and we'll get into all that. But there's still so much that I need to discuss with you right now, and it's the fact that you're just starting. I mean, you're not just starting out, but you're now in that spotlight of we know who Callum Newman is. Like we've had chats before. I've told you I've been a long time fan. I've seen you work from all over the place, and you've had some incredible matches. So the one thing I want you to share is name three of some of the most incredible matches you've had. I can name you some that I remember if you need to take time. But I want the fans who are first time listeners or who have just watched you from New Japan and don't really have seen your previous work, I want them to check out all your work. So let's talk about some of your matches.
So all of these are on the same. I remember these. All of these are on the same network. It's
Coincidence.
wow. Me versus Danny Black, Joe Lando, and Margaret Mayhew. Progress 4-way. Me versus Nick Wayne, and then me, Paul Robinson, and Will versus Danny, Joe, and Mayhew. Those are like the top three that like really stick out in my head of like matches that kind of put me on the map for people.
So we gotta talk about that because all three of those matches are either like incredible, like in the words that people didn't think would even come together. You know what I mean? So there are things that people didn't even imagine would happen. So we got to talk about it. Number one is obviously, let's talk about the Mountain Rushmore of the new generation. Talk about that 6-man match you guys had, right? The 6-man, right? The first one was a 6-man. Danny, you, Joe.
Or was that was a 4-way.
4-way. Okay, 4-way.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that one for a second. Like I said, Mountain Rushmore of the new school generation of wrestlers. Now you guys are the present. Now you guys are either showing up in GCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, West Coast. You guys are everywhere. So let's talk about that. How is it like to get in the ring with the most talented people like them?
It makes it better that we're all like shoot best friends. So we can hit each other as hard as we want, and after we'll laugh it off, and we get to showcase what we want, how we want to, and it wasn't like that 4-way. It wasn't like one of us was better than the other. All of us like kind of. It's like we all kind of like shined in our own little kind of aspects all by ourselves. So for me, it was being the youngest, but I'm the strongest. For Joe, it was the smallest, but the most agile. Mayhew, he was the most technical, like the technical style of him and like moving people to where he wants them. That's where he shined. And Danny just being an absolute menace for striking. And everyone realized all of that. Then coming back and everyone, as soon as we got back, the promoters come up to him and said, "We're keeping all of you. Like, don't go anywhere. We're keeping all of you." Like, sweet, thank you. And then from there, we all started getting like more and more opportunities. And then like going from that to now and seeing what we're all doing is insane.
I really like what you said, how you all have your own particular skill to bring to that match. One of you is fast, one of you is technical, one of you is this, one of you is that. That's kind of the most important thing in a professional ring. And in any match is to not overshine your talent, but to make sure you guys can do it all together and make a beautiful story. It's exactly what we see when we saw you guys wrestle. That being said, would you, since you guys said, I love how you said you're shoot friends, such a, like when you're talking to a wrestler, instead of saying, oh, we're friends in real life, now we're shoot friends, kayfabe. I love the way you said that. So, that being said, would you want to wrestle them more often, or is this like this has to happen once every 10 years, we come back stronger and we do this? Or is this just like not even 10 years, every like 3 times in our life we have to at least do this again?
I think I've got maybe one more four-way in me right now.
You're so young too. You said that and you're so young, 23. I got one more 4-way match in me.
I think because we debuted at one of the biggest promotions in the UK, and that's what really put us all on the map. And that was maybe 2 years ago, something like that. And then hopefully it's like maybe another year and a half maybe, and then we have the next four-way, and then just to see how individually we've all grown. And then after that, maybe it's a case of we leave it here, and then, because I don't want it to be one of the matches where we just keep coming back to it and people see the same stuff and they just get bored of it. I want that to be kind of like because everyone in the UK, everyone in Europe knows, like, close personal friends. We're all real life best friends. We all love each other. We all keep living shit out of each other. Then like we finish the match, we all give each other a smooch. Like Joe battered the fuck out of me, and I'm hitting him. Danny's done the same. Mayhew's done the same. We all try to kill each other. After, we give each other a smooch, give each other a hug. We're all hugging the ring, standing ovation. We're going, fucking love you lot. Cool. And then we left. And then I think I want that to be like such a special moment, to where whatever happens, happens. So I got maybe one more. And then and then I feel like after that, it'll just kind of be like a novelty. Like, oh, here's a CPF match, rather than like everyone's grown, everyone's done this, let's come back to this. Like, let's say like the boys, they kind of go off and do their different things. Say like Joe and Danny, like maybe Danny comes to Japan, Joe goes to NXT, Mayhew does what he's doing. Then maybe after we're kind of doing our individual things, and then it comes into one more thing. Then, okay, let's think about it. But right now it's like, okay, maybe we've all grown in 2 years, maybe one more. Then after that, we'll see.
Yeah, that's I think the best way to go around it. You know, you don't want to give them too much. You don't want to give them too much of the same thing. You want to savor it, you want to wait for it, and that's probably the best idea to do that. Next match we got to talk about is two future stars. Honestly, it's one that no one thought would happen so quickly or so early, since wrestling is just so big you wouldn't think about it, and that's Nick Wayne versus Callum Newman. I'm sure no one, if everyone's under the rock, no one really seen that match, because whoever's new listeners, but whoever's seen it knows how incredible that match was. So let's talk about it. What's your thoughts on the young prodigy Nick Wayne?
Oh, he's the best. He's got a proper little potty mouth on him, but he's the best. And like, just turning up, and like, the first time I met him, he was lovely. He was meant to do the match a couple, maybe 4 or 5 months before we were meant to actually wrestle, but then he got hurt pretty bad doing like a GCW weekender, so it didn't happen. And then after that, I kind of had a chip on my shoulder. I was like, nah, fuck these fucking guys. Like, they think they're stars. You just don't want to wrestle me because this, that, and the other. And I had a massive chip on my shoulder, and I'm still kind of big. So then I lost a load of weight. And then when we met up again, he was lovely. He started like chatting, and then we like mixed really well. Our ideas really kind of like meshed together really well, and it all went really smoothly.
With Nick Wayne, were you worried because of the age difference? What's the age difference? He was what, 16 at the time, 17 at the time?
Yeah, maybe 17, 18.
17. Okay, I mean, it's different. I don't know, because I know it happened a while back, way before New Japan, way before his AEW contract. I think that was like maybe shortly before his AEW contract, like maybe a few weeks before. All right.
Sweet.
So like I said, you know, Nick Wayne's young, and you were young at the time. You know, two different eras completely. Seeing you guys wrestle now would be absolutely, you know, once in a lifetime opportunity type of thing. So that's definitely something we also have to savor. But I love the fact that there are archives, that there are like kind of story seeds that were planted already. Because people could watch that match and be like, well, I want more. And if you want more, now you have to just actually wait for that later on. So that's what I like about professional wrestling. Now the match that I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So the one I want to talk about, third match, and it's a match that many longtime fans, even yourself who watched this group, this tag team as a kid, would be like, I cannot believe they're back, and I cannot believe I'm actually joining them, and that is the Swords of Essex, which is funny because you're actually from Essex, right?
Yeah.
Which is like that's kind of cool. Like you're literally perfect to join that group. Like there's only one thing you need to be to join that group, and it's like a very long list. So it's incredible that you managed to join forces with Paul Robinson, Will Ospreay, and have an insane 6-man match. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's your earliest memory with Swords of Essex? What are your thoughts on them as a tag team, as people?
To the like, Paul Robinson's like my wrestling dad, and Will's like my older brother. So like, Robbo always kind of said to my mum and dad, who was like, if he's misbehaving at school, if he's been a little shit, tell me, I'll put him in his place. Like, thanks, mate. Then Will's just always like looked after me since I was like 15. I met him, first met Will when I was 15, but I watched his matches before that. And the first time I ever watched Will was against Cody Rhodes in a venue in Kent, which is very random. And he was wearing the Swords of Essex gear, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. But I never got to see them wrestle live. I only just saw their stuff on like on demand or YouTube. Like I watched them. Like I think maybe the first one I saw was maybe them versus like Ricochet and Rich Swann.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first time I got like introduced to them. Then I saw the stuff they done on Progress, where Robbo turned on Will, and then everyone hated Robbo from that. But then having like to be involved in Robbo's first match back in like the UK, and like after he was crying his eyes out, thanking us, saying how like grateful he was. Like, that was a great moment.
Yeah, like I said, there's never the impossible in professional wrestling. Everything is always possible. Things can always happen. And having the tag team Swords of Essex come back and bring you in was a surprise for everyone. Just like you, I watched it on YouTube. I remember literally just Googling, and I remember finding that whole story, and I remember finding the matches, and it was awesome. And then even right before you guys did it, 6-man, they had their own little rivalry that they needed to have, and then they brought you in. So it's like telling a story. Like you're telling a long story, and this is your chapter. It's like the Marvel phase. Like here's reference you're gonna like. It's like the phase universe, the Marvel phase, like phase 1, and you're like in phase 2. You're like the Spider-Man. You're like when they bring in Spider-Man. If I did, I'm hoping we get to see a lot more and a good civil war come out of that as well. I'm hoping the Swords of Essex, is not finished and there's more to come. That's always a thought in my mind.
Yeah, I hope there's like another little stint where I get to wear denim jeans again in a match.
When can you do that? When else can you do that if not with them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always Robbo, but doing another shooting star in denim jeans, I don't feel I've got another one in me. It's terrifying, genuinely terrifying.
Listen, nothing can be more terrifying than the match that you had, and we're going to talk about it, is the freaking, I don't even know how to call that. It's a war game style. I mean, it's insane. I hope New Japan never does something like that again just because of how dangerous that was. And I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, the fan and everyone wants to watch that. The match was incredible. Storytelling was phenomenal. It was poetry in motion. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about War Dogs, Bullet Club versus the United Empire. And what kind of match? What did they call that match exactly? Do you remember?
Dog pound cage match.
Dog pound cage match?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, listen, I'm sorry, but whoever created that name really needs a raise. I don't know. Like, so let's talk about that. I feel like emotions were in the air at that time. I feel like everyone was preparing for a literal war. So I want to hear your thoughts about going into the match right before that. So you come out of the ring, you fight with Great Khan, you guys just had your tag match, and you're watching your fellow brothers prepare mentally for something that I don't think they've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I was just chilling. I did my job. Um, yeah, I was just chilling out, eating my gummy bears, doing me. And then I'm just looking around at everyone's face and everyone's just kind of locked in. And then I think I tried saying something to someone and they just blanked me completely. And I was like, oh fuck. Like, this might be a bit naughty today. Then I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been maybe Akira just fucking staring at himself, like just stood in the fucking corridor, just like staring. I was like, fuck. Like, this is like a different kind of aura. Not even an aura, just fucking like, just the air felt like really heavy. So it was like I'm going to leave everyone alone now. So I just went and fucked off and found something to do.
I gotta know how going off to do something and then somehow coming into the match, having a freaking dog collar on you with Malone. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Did you get jumped? Like you went to go get gummy bears and then you ever watch Family Guy where it's like ooh piece of candy,
Yeah.
ooh piece of candy, and then you get freaking trapped? Is that what
That's how you get
happened?
me.
Is that what
Yeah,
happened?
that's how you get me. If you need me anywhere, just put some like fucking Star Mix on the floor and I'm gone. Or if you have them like the straws, if you got any of them, I'm fucking sweet. But yeah, fucking uh, right down the ramp on the cage, handcuffed to it like this for 45 fucking minutes. Then Gato gets done. Then I've got to find the key on him. Then Okan gets the key, but he puts the key in the wrong way, so I need it for even longer. And I'm like, no, it's this way. So I have to fucking grab it off him and then put it in properly. And then going into doing double Oz cutter, then getting rid of Gato, and then watching everyone else, like, just more chaos unfold, really.
Well, we got to talk about. I don't want to rush into that. There's so much to really talk about in this one match. So, like I said, no, let's say kayfabe. Let's keep kayfabe alive, and let's be like, yeah, you got jumped. They put the dog collar. It wasn't the fact that you were getting candy and someone hit you from behind. Let's not say that. Let's just say, even though that's the truth, even though it's probably the truth, you saw a pack of gummy bears, and then they freaking put a collar on you. No, let's just say you were in catering. They jumped you. You're in this match. Your hand is like this for almost an hour, if not longer. Because honestly, time goes by.
Yeah.
My arm would be. I would already lose all blood correlation in my arm at that point. You know.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Like, I had it like at a decent angle where I could like every now and again kind of get my shoulder over the top of my fist, but then every now and again it kind of fucking like it got a little bit kind of pins and needles kind of, so I can't move it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I fucked it because when Hanare and it's just like everyone was just bleeding, like it was like quite uncomfortable. Like I don't like blood at the best of time. But like seeing everyone caked in it, and then Hanare come over and his head's just like gushing, it's coming out like slime, and I'm like ragging on the thing because it was a real set of handcuffs too, like thick metal. I'm ragging on it trying to get off, and I'm booting the cage, I'm booting the handcuffs, and as I went to boot the cage, and my foot hit the handcuffs, so it went even tighter. So it was like really, it was fucking going even tighter on my wrist. Like, this is fun.
It's like when you're trying to do something correctly and then you just manage to fuck it up, mess it up, and it's like, I shouldn't have done that. Should have just left it alone.
Every day of my life.
So much happened in that match. You know, you brought it up already with Hanare getting completely cut open. You know, no one knew what's planned, what's not planned, and it's so hard to plan something in a match like that. You know, things like TJ coming in and Aswan coming out. It's something that I've never seen before with New Japan. Like, Then you have freaking Akira doing the craziest high flying stuff that he's ever done before in this match. Like, literally, these people brought out in their arsenal some of the things that we've never seen before. And it was incredible as fans to watch it. I remember tuning in at like 6 a.m. watching this, but you were there live. You heard these fan reactions. You witnessed it all on your own. And it's so hard for us to even see everything all at once. You probably seen everything all at once. What can you say about that match? Is it something that you'd ever want to be a part of?
Fuck no. No, dude, honestly, I hate like blood. Like I've bled in a few matches before. Like I caught my eye or something, my eye started bleeding, been hitting the nose, bleeding. That I don't mind. But when it's like that amount, I hate it. It makes me cringe. Like I hate blood, man. And like the main thing I remember from that match is like Will just looking up, like we're taking all the shit off Will, and he just doesn't say anything, just sits there, he does his promo, then we're walking off, we all pose together on the stage, and he gets to the part in his song where it's like Ospreay, Ospreay, and everyone had the green baton things, like it's a different color, but everyone set the green. Everyone stood up and they're waving it. Everyone in Osaka's like, oh, Ospreay. Like, it was fucking deafening. Like, that's going to stick with me for a while. Like, that was insane. Because, like, most of the high spots, I remember most of them. But, like, that bit at the end where everyone's chanting for Will's name, I was like, fuck. That's my older brother. That's cool.
Aww. All high spots in this match have been incredible. But there's one that none of us even thought was possible or could happen. I don't think you even knew about it. It's so hard when things like that come together. But a double Oz cutter, with Will. Like, I didn't think you were going to be a part of this match. I honestly did not. Again, I was a huge fan of yours. And when I saw you, I was like, wait, they're bringing Callum into this? Of course, in your mind, at that moment, you're like, God, why am I here? You're probably like, I don't want to be here. But in my mind, I'm like, yes! The fan music, yes! We'll get to torture him for at least an hour. And then as soon as you get out of there, you and Will have this moment in the ring, and it is poetry. The commentator literally said poetry, and that's the perfect word to use. That you and him had this moment. You and him look at each other, and you and him plan this double Oz cutter. Tell me about that.
Yeah, everything kind of went into slow motion. I remember, I remember maybe like hook kicking Gato. Something happened to Finley, and then as soon as we motioned Oz cutter, everything just kind of went, ooh, whoosh. And then running up was slow. The jump felt like a minute, and then we bumped. Everything kind of like went back to normal. Sounds stupid, like. It's like out of a film, but I genuinely remember everything was kind of hitting him. Everything was going, fuck. Because we tried practicing it before the show, but then the timing was a little bit weird, and it was like we'd jump too close, and then the jump off would be weird. Like one would go higher than the other, or one would go further out than the other, and then we just looked at each other like, fuck it, let's just try it on the night. And I was like, sweet, and then. Get to the bit and then fucking perfect. We both jump, catch, land exactly at the same time. Fucking amazing.
It's insane to think, wow, let's try this, and it's unsuccessful. It doesn't work, and it's like, whatever. We're gonna do this live, and if it's perfect, it's perfect. And of course, it was the fact that everyone's mind was set. Everyone knew what they had to do, and somehow you guys connected the perfect double Oz cutter. Like that just alone says how great of a talent that you guys are. And I love, something that you mentioned earlier about, the fans and how, that the time in this match kind of like stood still. That's kind of what you're trying to say. Like time literally stood still. Like the clock froze. Everyone froze. Everything is frozen. It's like that Quicksilver scene in any X-Men movie, like that type of thing. You get what I'm saying?
But yeah, we'd go around the wall.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it's like. And like I said, incredible. Storytelling was incredible. So tell me what it was like in the back, you know? What was it like with after going from a war, after surviving a war? What'd you guys do afterwards? Did you guys go out, celebrate?
Yeah, fucking Hanare went to hospital, got stitched up, and then come to the dinner with us.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So he went to the hospital. They stitched him up, glued it back together, put a plaster on it. There's a photo of him at dinner with a plaster on his head. We'll post it on Twitter somewhere. And then, he phoned me. He was like, "I'm on my way. Can you save me some?" I was like, "Yeah, sweet." Made him a plate of food. He turned up. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not late. I was busy." I fucking wonder why, mate.
I don't know. And going to the hospital, going to the emergency room, it's never just let me go there for an hour or two and leave and get discharged. You know, I've never heard someone go to a hospital and not stay there for at least a couple hours. That's incredible. I'm sure Hinare escaped or more or less. So let's talk about this.
Not like I think they stitched him up and went, "Fuck."
You can't say no to Hinare. If Hinare wants to leave, he wants to leave. You know that's the lesson I think most people will learn just by talking to the guy. The one thing I want to talk about, we're talking about so many incredible United Empire members. United Empire is one of the toughest, baddest factions I have ever had to watch in professional wrestling, and I love it because it's these guys that you've been watching forever get the chance. You know, Hinare was not always Aaron Hinare. He had a different name in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was overlooked for a long time. Jeff Cobb also been everywhere, done everything, been overlooked. TJ, a veteran. Akira, been wrestling for AJPW. You have these, and then you have Aussie Open. You have Will. These are like the guys that you always knew can be the main superstar or whatever, and just never get that opportunity up until United Empire finally made everyone have this like role. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on each man? We'll go look at speed round. Speed round, nothing too crazy. Just think of something. It could be the funniest thing, it could be the dumbest thing, just something that only it could only mean to you even. It doesn't even make sense for us. But each member, I'm gonna name you a member in that empire. You let me know, okay?
All right, let's go.
All right, J Cafe.
Jacob Austin.
Yeah.
New boy. I was like, who? No, he's doing well. He works real hard. He's very good at just sticking his head down and just like getting his head down and just going to work.
Okay. Francesco Akira.
Akira. Very strong. Like he's got a strong heart. I don't think there's much that can like if he's got his head set on something, he's gonna make it happen.
Great O'Con.
Very funny. He comes out with a good pop every now and again. Plus, he looked after me quite a lot. Like I got hurt once, and I was trying to no, I'm fine. Like trying to tough it out, and he just sits me down. And he goes, "No, you have pain. Go, doctor." Like, okay, I got you. Then he took me over and made sure I was okay and like translated it and stuff. I was like, "Thank you."
Jeff Cobb.
Extremely funny. The proper dad of the group.
Really?
Every day you're around Jeff, you're laughing.
Aaron Hinare.
Very good for advice. Whenever I'm thinking about something, I'll go to him, and he taught me I had to throw a decent kick for the matches now.
Aussie Open. Let's do separate. So let's start with Mark Davis.
Davis, I'd say I haven't really spent too much time around it. There's a bit of time in the UK. They're very giving. Like when we had our matches, they were very open to letting us kind of get our ideas across. and they wouldn't half-ass the matches. He'd like give it every time he'd wrestle, it'd be either 90% or 100, nothing less.
Kyle Fletcher.
Once again, he's very caring. I remember having that singles. We had a few rough landings on that one, and he made sure I was okay. And he was one of the first people to kind of. So I think I wanted to talk, and he was like, "No, I'm going to get in the zone." Like he just looked at me and was like, "Get in the zone." Fuck, okay. I kind of went off. I was like, "How the fuck do I get into the zone?" and then like the next few matches after that, I realized I was like, "Oh, okay, now I understand what he means."
TJP.
My wrestling uncle. I think that's all I can say, really. He's like, he pops up every now and again, pops some jokes, gives me some good advice, helps me out, and then fucks up again.
Will Ospreay.
I'll say about him. He's all right. No, he's my older brother. Definitely the reason I'm here, really. Like, made sure I was doing my exams in school. Always made sure I was behaving at shows, behaving at home, making sure my head's like not in the clouds. And even like every now and again he'll check on me here, like a phone call every now and again. So yeah.
And of course, I have to talk about the most important Empire member, Gideon Gray.
Oh, he's a funny bastard. Every time I go home, I go straight up to him, and he's always got something to say. He was the first one that called me the gummy bear kid.
And that name sticks for you. When someone calls you that name sticks for life.
Yeah. Oh, when I went home just before the G1, he said, "No longer the gummy bear kid, he's the gummy bear man." Like, thank you.
Oh man, did I miss anybody? That's insane that we have like a roster like that of a faction. Like that's incredible. I think I named every single person. I think I did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, it's everyone.
All right, so we have so much still to talk about, and I know time is not really. I mean, we're an hour in, a good hour in, right?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
Time goes by really quick when you're having a good time. I hope.
Yes,
so we still got to talk about G1, and we still got to talk about Will Ospreay, but there's still a lot I want to discuss with you, and it's the fact that you had a privilege. Some people would be like, I wouldn't call it a privilege, but I want to say it's a privilege to be a young lion, an actual young lion. Because like certain United Empire members, like the newest ones, they didn't go through what you had to go through. But I feel like what you had to go through actually shapes you here mentally to be much quicker, faster, and intelligent than others in the ring. So let's talk about, being a young lion. What's that all about?
So Will gave me the talk before I even left, saying you're going to do all the squats, all the push-ups, train before the show. If the boys, like the Empire boys, want you to do their laundry, you're going to have to do it. First one to be at the bus, put everyone's bags on the bus. Last one on the bus. So I got like more privileges than like a traditional New Japan Young Lion. So I got to keep my spin kick, the high speed running boot, Spanish fly, and at first the springboard clothesline, because where I was trained by Will, I got to keep those privileges of like, here's what I was taught, I'm going to keep this. But then I was told to keep my basics, so like my strikes, keep a suplex in there, and then stick to that and keep that. And then if you have a singles match along the way, then you can start adding stuff to it. So then I started bringing in the Tiger suplex, just because I fucking love Tiger Mask. Like the first Tiger Mask is the best. So I'd fucking hit that as that's like a cool thing. But then like doing like a full tour, and then we'll finish a match and I'll be like, cool, I get to go to bed. And then we'll be like, Callum, I need you to wash my gear. I'm like, okay. So I'd wash his gear, wash my gear, and then sometimes I'd be finished maybe at like 11:30. Then by that time, I've got to like hang it up, make sure it's like all fucking nicely hung up and shit. Then I got to wake up early, give it to him, pack my gear, then I got to make sure I'm on the bus. Not even on before the bus, put everyone's bags on, last one on, get there, first one off, give everyone their bags. Like, it's a very taxing job, but like mentally nothing phases me now, really. Like, I'm pretty much living here now.
Did you feel restricted at the time? You know, they took away all your flashy gear. You know, you used to have, back when you were, you know, before New Japan, you had this like blue gear, you had red gear, you had all these like flashy gears. And I always say a gear makes a wrestler. You don't, it may not, if you see a wrestler for the first time ever, I mean, I remember the name. I mean, I remember, you know, what he looked like. But you'd be like, oh, he wore this. Because as soon as you get their attention, that's it, you're hooked. So I think gear is a really important thing, and I know they took that away from you, and I feel like that's why they take away gear for a young lion, because they don't want too much of the spotlight. It's more of a learning curve. So back to the question, did you feel restricted that you couldn't do certain moves that you wanted to? That you couldn't wear the gear that you probably wanted to? I don't know if you preferred the black kick pads and the black trunks. I don't know if that was something you actually enjoyed doing. But, and also, you know, it's amazing that Will was so reasonable. I also, like, I'm not going to completely take all this away from you. You can still do this, and that. But I still need you to feel like a young lion because there's still a lot of learning to do here. So I just want to acknowledge that for Will. Not a terrible person, nothing bad at all. He gave you what I think is one of the greatest things anyone can give any young wrestler. And it's a learning, you know, lesson. So let's talk about that. Did you feel restricted? I just don't want it to be a negative thing. I don't want that question to be a negative thing. That's why I brought that up.
No, I wanted it to restrict me because indie wrestling, I was so used to every time I'd do a match, I'd be landing on my head or I'd be doing a dive, and like that would be like my 5 moves, and then everyone would be expecting me to do that. They'd expect me to do something crazy off the top rope, something to the outside, and something where I'm landing on my neck. And if I don't do one of those, like I done one show, and I think I didn't do. I won't name names, but I didn't do the stuff I usually do, like athletic wise. And that promoter came up to me and said, "Oh, what? You having a day off or something today?" So first going in, I was like, I need to hit everything. I need to show everyone what I can do. And then when they told me, no, you're like, this is what you're keeping. This is what we know you're known for. You run fast, you got long legs to kick, and you can jump. See you out there, kids. Like, all right, sweet. Then leading up to like the months where I had my first singles match, where I'd be focusing on my strikes, more, my technique more, how to breathe through matches, and just getting fans used to me just running like I'm like the speedster, like the fastest wrestler anyone's ever seen. Sorry, it's a fact. Eat your heart out. So it's like getting fans used to that, and then just keeping that bubble. By the time I got to wrestle Ishii, and then I'm banging out Spanish flies, I'm banging out Phoenix splashes because I had to. That's when people are like, oh shit, Callum can do shit. And then when I'm doing that Spanish fly into like a suplex, and then after that match where it was months of doing pretty much just the bare minimum, to where I've got all these tricks in my pocket, and then a fucking standing ovation from Corrigan Hall, which is still, I could retire tomorrow and I'd be so fucking happy with that. Touch wood, I'd be fine. Like, it was definitely like, at first it was kind of like a curse, like, why are they doing this to me? I can do so much. But now looking back, I'm very thankful that they all told me, no, keep this. Like, I don't ask questions being like, oh, can I do this today? I'm kind of itching to do this. And then be like, shut the fuck up, what are you doing? No, stick to this. And be like, okay. But then looking back, I'm so happy, like, they told me that. And it's not like a rude way of being like, shut up, like, what are you doing? It's like just realize, like, the bigger picture. You're going to be here for a while. Just realize that bigger picture. Everyone's looking after, like, your best interests at heart. Just wait. That's all you need to do. Just wait. And I'm the worst, but I'm so impatient. I've been wrestling for fucking years. I'm so impatient.
And again, I want to acknowledge that, but I want to also add this in the gear. Did the gear bother you at all? Because I always, like I said, to me, again, gear is a small role, but it is still a role in a wrestler. It's still something that means something to someone. And I was curious how it felt to just wear all black. I feel like that, again, did that phase you in any way?
The trunks did. I've never worn trunks before. So that was like real, like kind of uncomfortable. Like I don't know about this. Like it felt like a swimsuit. But, you know, ladies loved it. So sweet. Then after a while, I kind of was fine with it. But I think wearing all black, people weren't looking at the costume. They were looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what freaked me out the most as well. They were looking at how I wrestle. Because there's nothing about me. Like, I am wrestler A. Like, when I debuted, it was literally just, here's a new guy. Let's see what he's about. Like, they bigged me up that I was Will's little brother. But that was it. So it's like, right, what can I do?
You're that guy that, like, the 2K games, like the old WWE games would have as like the generic one, like the first level, first round, like the guy that you gotta fade. I'm joking with you. I'm messing with you. But
that's literally how it was. It was literally like, make your character black trunks, black kick pads with a little bit of green. Okay, pick your moves, and that's it.
And it's like you're starting up, so you only have like the smallest like level of moves, like kick, punch, but powerbomb.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah, I'm so grateful for it though. Looking back, I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
because I think that's what really fucking like leveled up everything that I do now.
Yeah, because we gotta talk about this, because some people really surprise me. I feel like Will Ospreay will just keep surprising the world with how intelligent he really is. And was the whole young lion thing his idea? Was that like, because I know New Japan has a lot of like push and pull to most of their like ideas for wrestlers. So I'm sure Will's the one who's like, we need to get Callum. We need to do this. He saw you when he went back to his home. That you guys had your match. And he's like, you'd be perfect for an Empire. Obviously, everything happened right, that you're here. But the idea of Young Lion, was that his idea or was that New Japan's idea?
I think it was more of a TJ idea.
TJ?
I think. I'm not too sure, but the person Will went to the most, I think, was TJ. Because TJ had done it all before. So I think it was like Will wanted the image of the kick pads and the knee pads, but then, because that's like, I'm still a young lion, but I'm Empire's young lion. We keep that image. But TJ was the one that was like, let's start him here. And then, because TJ was like, I would have picked up a lot of bad habits from kind of the indie scene that's completely different to New Japan style. So then it's like, okay, let's put him here, get rid of those bad habits, let's build him up. So when he gets his colors, all them indie habits are gone.
Well, I know that doesn't surprise me at all, but also it shows how incredibly intelligent and technical and how many years TJ has been in the business for, that he had the idea of, let's not bring him in right away. Let's make him the young lion. Let's make people love him slowly. Let's make the fans who watch him not just like one-time fans that will be watching him forever, at his lowest to where he's at the top. And I think it's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so like blessed to be like a young lion. I loved it. Like during the experience, like when's it gonna end? But looking back, it's like, it's like, if anyone ever got the opportunity and they denied it, you're a fucking idiot.
Is it still surreal for you to be like, well, I'm not young lion anymore? Because I feel like you've been one for so long.
Well, I
Well, no,
have
not
not fast
long,
tracked.
but like when it's your first thing, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to just be like, wow, I can't believe I'm finally, doing all these other stuff when I was just there last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when it's like I came in this tour now was my debut tour last year. And then looking back, it's like in that year I had singles matches with Ishii, Gabe, Finley. I beat Shingo Takagi, I beat Shota, I've wrestled Zack, Sanada, I've wrestled all these like legendary wrestlers in the space of a year, and most of them was when I was still classed as a young lion. So it's like, yeah, like looking back, it's just been an insane year.
So we will talk about the year because the G1 it's gonna be a lot to talk about. But let's talk about Will for a second because I do want to get this topic, going. Will Ospreay, like I said, is probably one of the most interesting wrestlers of our time and will be always be talked about forever. You had the honor of getting to be like his little brother. You know what I mean? Like he there's so many people who he's wrestled who could say that, oh, I'm the next Will, or I wrestle like Will, or whatever. But he saw something in you, and I thought that was incredible. And I'm very curious, what are your thoughts on Will, and what do you think of what he's doing in AEW right now, and if you miss him or if you guys talk still.
Yeah, we talk every now and again. We have a phone call every so often. Usually it's when I'm drunk at like 3, 4 a.m. I'm like, Will, how are you, mate? Just kind of screaming. But yeah, no, Will's the best. Like, definitely a very much kind of tough love trainer. I think when I explain it to people, I'm like, he's definitely very hard on me. Like when Akira got announced as Will's protege, Akira definitely didn't get the. I don't think he got the will that I got. I remember like we done like training. I was doing like 100 press ups. Never done 100 press ups before in my life. Struggling. We get to like maybe like the last 80. I don't know, maybe 70, 80, and I'm like fucking struggling. And Will can see me like struggling, and instead of being nice, comes over to me and goes, don't stop, don't stop, don't you stop, don't stop. Okay. And he grabs my shirt, and every time I'm going down, I try and push up. He'll lift me back up. I'll go down, try and push, lift me back up. And sorry.
No, you're good. Everything's good, yeah.
Yeah, and then he done that a couple of times. Then once we got to 100, I'm like, my arms are shaking. He pulled me to the side. He goes, well done for not giving up. Now go back to the session. Like, thank you. And I was like, so like in the moment, it's definitely like just push yourself to the moment, like to the max. But then once that's finished, he'll pull me to the side and be like, well done. Like, he'll give me a little pep talk. And every time I've gotten hurt, he looked after me. One time I hurt myself like real bad, and he phoned me from New Zealand, like quite worried. I was like, don't worry, I'm fine. Like, I don't know what to do, but I'm fine. He sent me loads of links of what to do, like where to go, like near my hometown. Like, oh, thanks. And then after that, I was fine.
Wow, that's honestly so sweet of him. Like what a guy. What a guy to watch all your stuff, even when his schedule is probably busy than any other wrestler right now. And wrestling, going, flying, and traveling, and doing all this, and still managing to find links and give you that attention. That's incredible. And you guys say you talk,
Sorry.
No, go for it.
He said, no, he was, I think he watched some of my G1 matches too. And when I was feeling down about like that, he messaged me. He was like, you done really well today. Well done. Keep your head up. And I was like, okay, that's the little boost that I needed.
Yeah, Will is all, most stories is like, oh, Will, he likes things done a certain way. He's tough. He's knowledgeable. I want to hear a little bit of what fans don't get to see. Tell me something funny. Tell me something unique. Tell me something that like will make people go, man, I wish I had like an older brother like that. You know what I mean? In professional wrestling, someone who would do something like this. What is more that you can say about someone like Will Ospreay?
I remember I went to training, and this was the time like my mum and dad had to come to the training school with me because the training school was over 18s and I was 16 at the time. And the training school was like, make your mum and dad sign a waiver and then they can come with you and basically watch you with like a carer. It's like, cool. Then Will came down and done a little session, and after he was talking to all of us, and like he was offering like pay for my gear, and like talking about wrestling and stuff. And he was like, have you ever been to this show? I was like, I've never been to I was always going to kind of one promotion. And I was like, I've only been to this one. I've never been to any different kind of promotion, really. He goes, well, what are you doing tomorrow? I looked at my dad. He was like, nothing. He was like, cool, you're coming with me to a show. I was like, oh, okay. Don't worry about the ticket. Don't worry about like lunch money. Like, just come to the show. Okay. Then met him beforehand, walked in. He went up to my dad. He's like, don't worry about him. I'll look after him. I'll drop him off home. Then we got in. He paid for the ticket. Like, got me a drink, got me food, make sure I was cool. Then the show started. And there was like all the chairs and we was kind of behind everything. He like kind of pushed it. There was loads of people there. He like pushed everyone out the way. Stood me in front. He went, right, watch everything. After, come back to me. Tell me what you think, and I'm going to tell you like why you're wrong and why you're right, and then you're going to understand everything a lot more. I was like, okay. Stood there, watched the match, went back. I went, I think maybe this and this. He goes, this, yeah, this, no. Go watch the next one. Now you know what I mean. Then I watched the next one, knew exactly like what he was talking about.
Wow, just honestly, what was this the first encounter with Will? Your first ever encounter?
Maybe like, I probably knew him maybe a couple months at that point.
Okay, because I'm like, imagine if I don't know, the way you told the story, it's like, I thought like, it's your first encounter, he's like, oh, come with me to the show, let's go. Still incredible, even for a few months, just be like, hey, you're going to go with me, private VIP, you're going to sit down here in the front, you're going to be watching this, you're going to be telling, like, getting to learn from someone like him is once in a lifetime. Having a private VIP, like getting to him is incredible. All right, so that's one of the sweetest. Let's hear something funny. Let's hear something that, brothers always, fuck around with each other. There's always funny stories. What is something that you had that you, to this day, still laugh? And like, God, like, that time was hilarious.
I used to work on a farm and you got headbutted in the dick by a goat. That was really funny.
Wait, what?
So I used to work on a farm. And it was like, I messaged him. He was like, I got nothing to do today. I was like, dude, if you're free, I'm down. And I'll just take you around. I'll give you a VIP experience, whatever. Then we had like these like baby goats. And then he started telling me this story about how he headbutted a goat once. And then I was like, yeah, mate, sweet. And I gave him some like food, like feed the baby goats. They ain't been fed yet. As soon as he walks in, the goat just runs up to him, headbutts him in the dick, takes all the food, and then just runs off. And then he just run. I was like, Will, are you all right? He goes, I think it's time to get out now. Me too, mate. Me too. Then he got out of there.
So Billy Goat got hit in the nuts by a goat.
Yeah.
That should be a t-shirt. You can make money, Callum. Make a t-shirt. You can sell,
I'll get the royalties as well.
Oh man, yeah, that's hilarious. That's so cool that you could just call up Will. You're like, yo, come with the farm and come check it out. And then he headbutted a goat. What? How does that even work?
Apparently, when he was younger, I think he said it on an AEW interview. Like when he was younger, he headbutted a sheep or a goat or something.
Oh my god, classic Will. So he's brought up AEW. What are your have you been watching his work with AEW? Because he's been doing some, like you said, Takeshita. He wrestled Takeshita already. They already had their match. Have you been watching stuff with AEW? He's done so much already in AEW. It's only not even been a year.
What I watch? I watched little bits. I watched stuff he done in England. Some of the tag matches I watch. I'm really bad at keeping up to date on wrestling. Like, I'll see a lot of stuff, but where we're on the road all the time, most of the time I just don't watch too much. But on the off days, I watch quite a lot of what he's doing, what Nick's doing, what Jamie Hayter's doing. Like, usually I'll kind of keep up with all that kind of stuff, which is like real cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I said, like Will's schedule's been insane, and like you brought up Takeshita, he had a match with Takeshita, really good, and I just want to use that as an example of something you wanted versus Takeshita. I was curious if you watched that one specifically, seen anything about it, learned anything. Again, that match happened a while back, and with your schedule with New Japan touring, I doubt you have time for any of that. But if you haven't, definitely check that one out. It's one of the best AW matches I think they've brought out lately.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again. I remember seeing a music video for it because I think I was on the bus and I was like, I'll have a look. And I think I was like, I'll check out the music video.
So something I also want to bring up, because I want to get to G1. We'll get to G1 soon. We've been chatting a while, me and you, and I brought up the bear thing. I kind of want to give people insight on this bear stuff, because now that I finally found what I was looking for, we could finally have a conversation here. So let's talk about this bear thing. You want to talk about it? Or you want me to talk about it? How do you want to start?
Well, I went to a bear park the other day, and I sent, me and Will were talking, and I sent a photo of the bear to Will. He was like, imagine if imagine if we had to have hand-to-hand combat with a bear. Like, I was like, dude, there's no chance. And then it got to the point, I think we always have weird talks, and I think it was like how many people it take to take down one bear. I don't remember the number, but the talk was so funny.
So I'm saying it would take at least one Chuck Norris, and what do you think about that? Let's start with that.
I'd say Chuck Norris and a prime Jackie Chan.
And prime? Okay, what about Bruce Lee?
If you had nunchucks, then yeah.
Okay. And
I forgot the other one. I forgot on Homeboy.
Okay, I'm gonna let you take it. I don't want to think about it.
What's Homeboy's name? There's loads of movies about him on Netflix.
By Netflix.
Why have I forgot his name?
Jason.
I forgot his name.
Jason
Guy,
I know exactly. Wait. So okay. I know who you're thinking of. Are you thinking of No. Now we're both in this. Stop. What? Give me a second. He has the dog. Is he with the dog in the pencil? Is it the thing with the dog in the pencil? Keanu Reeves.
No,
not Keanu Reeves.
Wait, he was in the latest. He was in the latest John Wick film.
John Wick. That's the thing. I was thinking it's John Wick. Oh my god.
Do you know what? Yeah, we'll chuck John Wick in there. John Wick will do.
Yeah, I'm over thinking. So we got Chuck Norris, and again, you gotta let Will know this list. You gotta write down this list, man. We're over here thinking of. So we got Chuck Norris, we got John Wick. I'm thinking Jason Statham. He could do some great stuff. You don't think so?
Nah.
Okay, we'll take him out. But someone in the wrestling world that I think can definitely wrestle a bear is Doug Williams.
Yeah, probably. He's big enough. He's a big boy.
All right, so we had some fun, and we still got to talk about some Marvel stuff. We still got to talk about some Sonic stuff. We will get into that. That's what I'm excited for, because we get to get in more detail with that. But let's talk about the G1. You brought it up already. They pick up wins with Shingo, Shota. There is incredible stories everyone has with the G1. Let's talk about it. You went through hell. You literally went through hell. But the thing that I love is that you had this new, fresh gear. You came in there looking like you're meant to be there. You know what I mean? You had a tournament. You fought into this tournament. And before we even get to G1, let's just acknowledge that tournament. You went against some tough people in Yoshihashi, Kenta. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that was a rough one. Because that kind of got struck up on me last minute. There was no like preparation or anything, like really. It was literally just look at the graphic. Oh, I'm in that. Fuck it, let's go. And then it was realized it was for the G1. I think I just kind of locked in, and I was like, you're gonna have to kill me. And then Kenta nearly did. Like, he like got me with a kendo stick in the chest, then it ricocheted up and got me in the nose. Then my nose was like bleeding. Then like he like kendoed me in like the arm and the back so many times, it like cut me. I think I've still there's some photos you can still kind of see some of the scars. And I was like, oh, that's grim. So that was rough. And then the last one, Yoshihashi, was like that brother chopped so hard, it genuinely hurts. But that was a fun one. And then made it all the way to the G1.
When did you know? Because again, for you, it must have been like Christmas in like, you know, September or like July. You know, like it's ridiculous. When did you know you were gonna go on to win it all and go to G1? Because I'm sure they gave you some kind of heads up, or I'm sure after like the first victory, you were like, wait, I actually won. I almost never, you know, again, with all respect, win. You know, how, because this is where you really start moving up. This is where you start really moving up. Because how many wins did you have in singles matches before that?
Nothing. In Japan, nothing.
Exactly. So
if you count the little one with Taka, so maybe like one.
No, yeah, so one. So let again, that's kind of what I meant. That's why I don't want to leave disrespect. Like, you had one win. So when you saw you were going to win another one, you were like, wait, okay, let's say you win that one, then you won another one. I'm curious when they were like, hey, you're going to go on to win this. That's what I'm curious about.
After the Kenta match.
I feel like you also kind of already knew that. After beating Kenta, I feel like, wait, am I about to win this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that had to be a thought going into it.
Yeah, I thought Kenta would be the final.
Yeah, me too.
For some reason. But when he was the buy-in, I was like, oh, fuck. So, like, it was like, hard match, even harder match, go into an even harder match, all fucked up. But then after the Kenta one, I was like, fuck, I think something's happening here, boys. And then when it did finally happen, I was like, oh, shit.
What was going through your head when you did find out? When you were like, wait, I'm actually about to win? Like, what was going through your head at that point?
Just stress. And part of the stress, and then just being like, fuck, I'm going to phone home and tell everyone. But then it was like, I didn't want to tell anyone. I wanted everyone to find out by themselves. And then it was literally like I wanted, it was like I wanted to tell everyone, but then I didn't, and I kept it to myself. Then the people that knew were like, oh, fucking congrats. Like, everyone come up to me like saying congratulations. I was like, fuck. Then we started doing the maths, and then I'm the youngest entrant ever to ever be in the G1. And I was like, fuck. So it was just more stress.
I'm curious what the people close to you thought about this. What was like TJ's response? I know TJ, for the storyline with New Japan, was out there with you the whole time. He was also in this tournament, but he didn't make it. So he was like, I'm going to make sure Callum does. That was like the concept of every post comment. Like, it's okay if I didn't do it, Callum's here. So I'm curious what, you know, TJ's reaction was, or anything, you know, from TJ coming out during that process of going into the G1. And also, since Will wasn't there per se, like physically, what was his whole thing about you letting him know, like, oh, yo, I just won this match. I think I might actually go into this. And then, oh, yo, I am going into the G1. You know what I mean? What was like the conversations there? What was like the support system there?
Will, I told Will that I was going to be in the G1, and then it was, mate, I am so fucking proud of you. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that's like so cool. Same with TJ. Like, I was like after the Yoshihashi match, TJ put the Empire flag over me, and I just started crying. I just looked at the line mark on the floor. I was like, fuck, years of just getting like bullied in school, just getting piss taken out of me, all the injuries, everything. I've made it into fucking G1 at 21 years old. Like, no one will ever like fucking say what you want about my wrestling. You can hate me, you can love me. You will never be able to take away the fact that I'm the youngest fucking person to ever be in the G1 ever. And I don't know if who's next. Might be fucking. I could be in next year's G1 and I'll still be one of the fucking youngest there. Like, it's insane. And like, you'll never take that away from me. Will was like, no matter what you do, I'm proud of you. TJ was the same. Everyone around me was like, dude, you've made history no matter what.
Yeah, dude, and it's true. You know, like we talk about, told you, and again, I love bringing something up. I've been watching you for a long time, way longer than your New Japan career, and you are a star. You deserve everything, and so much more is coming your way. You know that, and I know that sometimes the internet could be hard, and I know sometimes fans think they're critics, and don't let that get to you. Don't let that
preaching to the choir, buddy.
Listen. Again, I can never say I know how it feels per se in your position, but I do want to say that you have people, you have real fans like me who, at 21, at the age that I was at, am looking for this wrestler that can relate to me, this young, this. Now I'm older than you, and I'm like, that's insane. Now I'm interviewing people younger than me. Like my little brother will be watching you the way I watch Will, and it's like you're shaping the mind, and you're having your own fan base. Don't let these, critics judge who you are and what you do, and that should never be the case.
Yeah, I try to. It's just like, especially like the amount gets hard. Every now and again, I'm fine, but then sometimes it is a case of like, oh, this is rough.
Just stay away from Twitter. I feel like Twitter is like the main one. I feel like it's the main painful. I feel like Instagram is just photos of you posting your friends, and I feel like Twitter is literally the one where it's like, let's just write how we feel about something and let's just piss off on it. You know what I mean?
I've muted everything. Like, I'm the worst person now to message. I've muted everything. Facebook, Messenger, fucking Instagram, Twitter, a lot. Like, I don't look at anything. I'll maybe pop on, see what's going on Twitter. I'll read one thing, go straight back off it. I'll look at my friends' stories on Instagram. I'll click right back off it. That's why I'm like the worst person to message. Like, you'll message me, I'll read it. Like, it'll come in my notifications. Like, if I'm on Instagram, it'll come up, and I'll read it. Like, I'm going to answer you later. Like, I don't want to stay on this for longer. I think now the longest I stay on like any social media is probably like 10 minutes.
Well, I will say this. I'm not going to bring up how we contacted each other or this and that, but I will say, like, you've been nothing but respectful for me. When I contacted you the way that I did, you got back to me and as fast as you could, and we've been talking almost every day, just finding a day to reschedule, finding a day to schedule, and I'm just honored that you were like, you know what, he's worth it. He's worth me not just skipping through this because it's not, and I appreciate that, truly. So,
no, that's cool. Like, I've made sure to keep it. I've made sure to keep up on that one. I was like, oh, fuck.
So let's talk about G1. Let's talk about the most interesting thing that happened to you so far, and that is the fact that you pick up wins and you had these matches and you had this gear. Listen, the gear's probably, you're probably like, what is the fascination about the gear? For me, the gear is a lot. And you changed up your entire gear style for this. People say they saw Ospreay. People say they saw this. I saw Callum Newman. I saw the guy that I've been watching for so long in those tights, running it up. Let's talk about it. What was your reaction seeing the gear, seeing that you're on the posters for the G1, and then let's kind of dive in. Like, you can talk about that and then straight dive in to your first match, what I believe was Shota Umino.
Yeah. The gear, I just wanted something that was just like, just fucking out of nowhere. Like, just something that people are like, oh, fuck, like, what's this? And like, Will talked to me, said he wanted to have a little something with his image in my costume. I was like, okay, that's fine. I understand that. Then the jacket was like, I just wanted something I fucking love long jackets. Like, I think they're the best. So I just fucking wanted something that really stood out. Same with the tights, when something that stood out. And I think it did. If you want to say I look like Will, you want to say I look this, look like the other. Fucking everyone was talking about my gear, so I done something right. Then, dude, I fucking seeing my face like on the front of like buildings, like the first show in Osaka, like literally fucking like probably like 20 foot wide fucking post of the G1, and just like my face is like in the middle. Like, that's fucking so sick. Like, people are walking into the ring, they look up, they see me. Like, that's dope. Then the first match was Shota, terrified. Like, I felt like I was debuting again for the first time, because that's how it felt like that. But then like working a hot Shota was kind of a kick in the nuts, because he'd like working with like pretty much a fucking broken back. So like, he wasn't moving the way I wanted him to. He wasn't moving the way he wanted to. So everything was kind of, I don't want to say sloppy, but it was like, we both know we could deliver so much better.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about the G1, is that the first one's not your last one, and it's not always going to be as you want it to be. There's so much that goes into the G1. People get injured. Have you? Again, I'm glad that you're wrestling here. I'm glad that you're not, on the shelf. Thank God. Of course, gotta appreciate that every day. But the G1 is gruesome. G1 is painful. Did you suffer any injury during the G1 that you're like, I'm gonna just keep going, I'm gonna keep fighting? Was there anything that was giving you pain?
Yeah, my neck. I had to take my neck up pretty good.
Which match?
Naito. I took 2 Destinos in a row, and that was a bit rough. It was like running Destino, pick me up, one more Destino for the road. Fuck. And after that one, I had to lay down for a bit, because I was like halfway through the tour. So I had to kind of lay down after and really kind of sit there and be like, fuck, I've got to make a decision. Do I stop, or do I just pull my big boy pants up and keep going? And like, everyone at New Japan looked after me and made sure I was cool. Like, they checked me out. They was like, you're fine, just chill out, ice your neck, go home, relax, have a hot bath. If you need anything, message us, let us know. Thankfully, didn't need anything. I just needed a bit of rest. But the G1 tour is like the hardest tour in the world. I thought everyone was saying it just to kind of be like, look at me, I'm so tough, I've done this, that, and the other. But it genuinely is the most grueling like tour in the world. Like, you're on the go every day. I think we had like maybe 2 off days, and like, we were always on the go, always having a match, always doing these singles matches. At the very minimum, doing like me and Gabe, we had like a 6-minute match. But before that, we're having at the very minimum 10 minutes of just go as hard as you can, kicking the living shit out of each other every night. And after a while, it gets fucking like, it's a case of like, mentally, let's see how tough you are to keep going.
It's funny thinking about this. When you found out you were going to the G1, you knew how terrifying the G1 is. Were you more afraid before going, before the curtain call, before going into the G1, or was it during the G1 already, where you're like, I don't know if I could do this? What was like the point where you were the most anxious? Was it finding out right before the G1 starts? Because then your brain's like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Or was it actually during the G1?
It was probably before. I was like, fuck, am I actually ready for this? like, I felt like I was ready, but I wasn't at the same time. But I'm very happy that I got basically a trial by fire, sink or swim. And then now looking back, that whole tour has elevated my style, how I wrestle, the way I carry myself, the way I walk, the way I talk. And like, I don't want to say everything now is like easy, but it's a lot more. I'm a lot more relaxed than when I was 4 months ago.
That's good. And, I hate to say it, and I hate to bring this up, and I'm not trying to do this for any type of kick out of it. It's just the fact that, like I said, that you have an amazing support system, and you have amazing fans. And the one thing I want to bring up is Shingo Takagi. I think looking into this, no negative. I think it's you did something that Will took years to do, and that is beat Shingo Takagi. So let's not talk about the what went right, what went wrong, what people think, what people don't think. Let's talk about the fact that you got into the ring with a guy like Shingo Takagi and got out of it the victor. That's what I want to talk about. That's the match that I actually was most excited for because I knew you're quick, I knew your style, and I knew his style. And I was like, you guys are gonna have a banger. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about the Shingo Takagi match because that's my favorite. But I want to hear about your favorite.
So, like what I said before, I love Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate is like that's my shit. I fucking love old school Dragon Gate. And it was like Yoshino, Seema, BB Hulk, Takagi, those were the Donnies where I was like, fuck, these guys can go. And then like dude, I really want to wrestle fucking singlet Takagi. That's the guy. And like he can still go now. Like, he can still move. He can still like go just as fast as he could back then. And then like when I stood across the ring from it, it was definitely like a fuck. I'm here. Like I used to watch you on YouTube all the time. Now I'm literally like you're breathing down my neck, about to try and hit me with a Made in Japan. Like insane. And then I like after the 3 count, I remember walking back and like fuck. I just beat him, like hitting like counters that no normal person could do if they tried. Like, and then being able to do that straight into an Oz cutter, straight into a 3 count against someone that I really look up to is insane. It's going to be something I'm never going to forget.
So let's talk about what Will said. And again, like I said, don't want to take anything away. That match was one of my favorites. That was the match I was excited for the most. Getting to see you pick up the win was everything for me. You know what I mean? Like, I stayed up till, I think it was like 4 in the morning. I think because you weren't the last match, but you weren't the first one. Like 4 or 5 in the morning around there. And I was like, you know what? I got work at like 8 in 3 hours. But okay, I got to watch this and it was worth it. So that's what I'm happy about. But then I come to work and I see Will tweeted this thing. Because I'm not on Twitter like that. I also think it's very toxic, so I'm not on it that much. And I saw Will tweeted, leave him alone. He's new. Who cares if he messed up on this? And I didn't even notice anything. But now it's like I'm gonna have noticed it. But maybe for you may have been going through something right after that match. So I'm curious, what happened? What was going on there? Why are you getting these comments? What's going on?
Oh, fucking. I've kind of blocked it from my memory. Like,
if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to, Callum. I don't need a.
Nah, I don't care. No, I don't care. Like, but before it was rough. It was like I got dumped on my head. Then I countered his DDT straight into an Oz cutter, and then New Japan put it on Twitter, and then it was like 300 quote tweets. Fucking getting tagged, getting messages of just people saying how shit I was, people saying me to retire. But I think my favourite one was send Callum to the moon without a return ticket. Fucking, there was loads like burn your boots. Now I know when to go on my phone during the G1. Now I know when the piss break is. Oh, it's Callum's match. I can turn it off. I can take my dog for shit like that. Like fucking. It really got to me to a point that I messaged Will and I was like, how would you deal with it? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm sat in my room, like just staring at a fucking wall. Like, how would you deal with it? And I had everyone come up, just ignore it. You're fine. Like this, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, but you guys aren't fucking getting all this fucking hate. Like everyone's saying how much they love you guys. Like fucking Akira would say like, yeah, you're fine, just ignore it. Like, but Akira, you fucking get messages being like, oh, you're cute, whatever. Akira's a great junior, this, that, and the other bullshit. But I'm getting, Callum, fuck off. Like everyone hates you. I was like, fuck. So it really got to me, like my confidence was shot. Then someone came up to me like, the fact that 300 people has quote tweeted it and they're saying all this shit means you're doing something right. Because if they weren't saying anything, then you're doing something wrong. like you've got their attention and they've done you've done something, like you've done a counter that they can't do and they hate it, so they've had to go online and chat shit about you. So obviously you're doing something right. So just fucking put your boots on, do another match, crack on. And then when I messaged Will, he was like, just recognize that like now you're not in the indie scene anymore, you're on a global platform. You're doing something that everyone's watching, everyone's got an opinion. And when you look at all the people that are making these comments, look at their profile picture, it's not them, it's Okada, it's an anime photo, it's a cartoon. It's like
trolls.
It's like just crack on. Like mute everything, don't look at it, just listen to the opinions of like me, TJ, all the boys of the Empire, anyone else you look up to, listen to their opinions, just crack on. Sweet. It took me maybe like a week, 2 weeks to go over it.
Yeah, you know, it's incredible that Will, like I said, like no one really will understand how fortunate you are, because people would only wish to have someone like Will give this advice. Imagine Will's perspective. If I remember this carefully, because everything is kayfabe, but again, I don't really know. I know Jericho at one point was very not full of himself, but like he was on top at one point, and he had to talk to Jericho, and that's when Ospreay was in like New Japan around the same age that you are, and Jericho had stuff to say about Ospreay. I'm sure now everything is good. I'm sure they all respect each other, but there was like some comments about Ospreay, how he won't make it to 30 if he wrestles like this or whatever. And when you're at that age and you're there, you're taking like a real offense to that, or at least it definitely changes a shift in your mind. Because imagine a legend like Chris Jericho going, yeah, I don't see this kid, doing well or whatever. It's like that stuff sticks with you. So it's kind of great to have someone like him be like, listen, you're doing everything great. This is part of it. This is part of where you're at. It's part of what you're going to do. This guy literally was in the same shoes as you are. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like the more I think about him, like Will's now got all these like 5-star matches. Everyone say how great he is, but if you go further back into Will's career, he's had just as many like bad singles matches and just as many fuck ups and just as many botches. So like, again, I'm not perfect, so just leave me alone. I just want to wrestle, make people happy with the way I wrestle. I'm literally Sonic. Like,
we'll talk about that.
Watch, like, bro, genuinely, right?
Your shadow. We already pause. Kayfabe, your shadow. We can't be Sonic.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look in the mirror. You're literally shadow.
Yeah. All right. Okay, but if I'm like really happy, I'm like really giddy, just hype up, had good sleep, whatever. And if you watch if I'm just relaxed the fuck. And if you watch me, you can tell I'm just Sonic. I take the piss, I run really fast, and I'll do a spin. I'm fucking Sonic. But singles matches, when I need to lock in, I'm Shadow. Like, if you watch me now with them fucking that in mind, wow, everything starts clicking.
Isn't Shadow also fast as Sonic? Aren't they the exact same speed? Or is this already like a proven thing that, Sonic is faster than Shadow?
No, they're about the same. But Shadow kind of goes easy on Sonic every now and again. That's when Sonic wins.
Okay, interesting. All right. So yeah, so because we'll get into the Sonic stuff. We're already skipping through stuff. We'll get into that. Like I said, the G1. I brought up my favorite match. I had to bring up Shingo. I had to bring up Ospreay because also just that's a guy who's in the same boat as you. And the last thing I want to mention about the Shingo stuff and about everything in that case is there could be 300 trolls or whatever doing this, but the amount of times that I see post a story of a fan doing artwork for you, bringing you candy, letters, that stuff has to outweigh anything. And in the future, if you ever go through something like this again, that stuff has to outweigh everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely made it worthwhile, like doing like a sign-in and people come up to saying, like, thank you for coming to Japan. Thank you for coming to New Japan. Thank you for, a couple of people said, like, thank you for bringing a freshness of, like, style to New Japan. Because, like, I think New Japan has their heavyweights and they have their high flyers, but they don't have speedsters. So, like, speedsters, you think of Dragon Gate, you think of like indie. I don't think people really think of like, I mean, now WWE has, you know, who the fuck that guy is. I'm joking. I promise I'm joking. But like, I feel like Japan doesn't have a Flash. They have their Spider-Man, they have Wolverine, like the little guys that are powerhouses, they're the flippy guys. And then you have the Hulks and you have the Juggernauts, where it's like the big dudes hitting each other. But I think I really filled that gap of being the Quicksilver, being like the Flash of like the company.
Yeah, but, you know, it definitely feels that way. And like I said, when I see you post artwork, when I see you post candy, especially gummy bears, again, let's promote that. He loves Haribo. He loves gummy bears. Just give him gummy bears,
dude. Fucking if Haribo Star Mix is the fucking shit. Honestly, before every match, I get taken the piss out of all the time.
Like I said, fans do these things for you, and that has to always outweigh. And I know you know that, and I know that at the moment things can get hard, but that is like the one thing. And I said this to you before, and I don't know if you remember, but I've been watching New Japan for a long time. I've been watching you for a long time. And when Will left, it was a big hole, like a big hole missing from New Japan Pro Wrestling, because they don't have speedsters like that. They don't have, you know, like guys like that. And the minute you took over, watching you in the G1, not saying that you're Will's replacement, but you have filled that hole. There's a new star growing in New Japan. And I loved Will when he was doing Best of Super Juniors, fighting Koshida, and losing in the Best of Super Junior. You know, that's the Will that I grew up watching. That's where you are. And again, you're not going to do Best of Super Junior, but you're doing heavyweights. And I just love the fact that you filled that hole so perfectly, and that you're doing your thing.
Oh, thank you. Like I remember saying to Will, the last night, he was like, just crack on, do your best. And I remember like we were both kind of crying. I was like, but I don't know how to fill your shoes. And he was like, you're not filling them. You just got like the mold. Like there's like I've left a mold. You're just going to put your feet in there, and then that mold's going to go around you. Then that's you. Right. Okay. And that's stuck with me ever since.
To make this a cooler reference, he's like a symbiote. You know, Will left the symbiote for him,
yeah.
And Callum's about to become the freaking Venom out here. So Callum is built like Venom. Let's just bring that up right now. Callum is straight up built like Venom. My man's got height. My man's got. You've been working out. What has been your secret? Because you were a scrawny kid, and now you're this freaking juggernaut out here. What have you been doing in Japan?
Yeah. Just eating like raw meat, raw fish, working out as much as I can. I've been real lazy the last few tours, but like I just put on like a load of. I can put on weight really easy, but I put on like 10 kilos in like 4 months.
What's the No.
Mm-hmm.
What's the gym regimen look like? How many times do you work out? How often do you have to watch your figure? You know, what's it like?
Like if I like lock in, I'll be there Monday to Friday usually. Sometimes on a Saturday. If I'm happy with how I look, I'll go maybe like 2 days on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, every now and again. And then, but if I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see, then I'll just diet more than work out, because I know if I work out, I'll look bigger and I think, oh, I look cool. But then when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yo, you look like shit. So then that's when I'll diet more. But like dieting on the road's kind of hard. So I got to kind of like mix and match what I do.
All right, and let's talk about the final thing with the G1 before we get to Song, before we get to Marvel, before we get to our final phase. Let's talk about your favorite match in G1. What is that? Why is that? And what did you learn from it? Let's say that.
I don't know. Fuck. What is my favorite match? Maybe Neo Khan. That was a real good one. Me and Jake was real. I don't know, man. All of it. I think maybe me and Zach, just being in there, a fellow Brit, and like show. I got to show that I could do technical wrestling. Like I learned British technical wrestling for 7 years. Like before I even touched high flying or rope running, I learned how to do tech. So I got to show everyone like I can do shit. And then I got like he pasted the fuck out of me. So I got to show everyone that I can hang. I didn't know the match. I was like, fuck, like I can take a pasting, but I can still kind of keep my heart going and like keep fucking fighting through. Then there's like me and Jake. Jake's phenomenal, like amazing wrestler. Sonata, great match. Takagi, like tempo was amazing. I've learned how to. Like, all of them were just amazing. I don't have a favorite.
That's fine.
Every single one brought something different out of me. Like Gabe, there was the brawling. Evil, there was the how do I get around sneakiness of wrestling two people. Sonata, there was that hybrid style. How do I get around a guy that can do literally everything? Zach, how do I work if he's attacking a body part or just kicking the fuck out of me? Like Jake's tall. Like I do the Ospreay choke slams me. How the fuck am I gonna get around that? Shota just kicks the fuck out of you. Fucking like all the matches had something else to bring out. So I can't name one, but everything was just fucking so like just an amazing experience. Like all of them.
You know, you bring up Zach, and I didn't ask you this, and I want to ask you this. How does it feel that he won, that a Brit won the G1? I don't think that has ever happened in a G1. I think he's the first. How does it feel for you, for your people, that like someone like that won a G1? Like fuck, like this is our year. Like this is the year. It's a new revolution.
They brought it home, baby. Like, yeah, it was real cool. Like especially like seeing like the Union Jack flags in the audience and like everyone screaming. Like then when I was like looked at Twitter, everyone from the UK saying it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home. That was so cool. Just like definitely like an amazing experience to see even for Zach.
And now finally to talk about it, you're on tour right now. You're doing your thing. You're wearing new gear. You brought up your ring jacket when you're talking about the G1. I love your vest right now with the feather. So unique, so cool. I love that. You're wearing the. They're not trunk. What would you call it? I think they're trunk. I think those are like trunk style, but they're more high up than
biker
your
shorts.
Biker shorts. There we go. You're wearing those biker shorts. In the same style as your tights. What happened to the original gear, the G1 gear? Are we not gonna bring that back again?
They fucking broke.
What do you mean?
Like I was just going so fucking crazy that I've got a fat ass too, so the seam on my ass just like broke, and then I couldn't repair it because it was like pleather, so they were like you're gonna have to put a patch over it, but it would probably look stupid.
When did they?
So I just waited for them.
When did they break?
I think after the Zack match.
Oh my god! So you've been you were fighting in the G1 with like almost showing your ass off to the New Japan public. That's insane.
Yeah, no, I went from that, and now I'm wearing my sexy shorts, so we're good.
So are we gonna go back to tights, or are we gonna keep our sexy shorts?
No, I'm really enjoying this. I can run a lot better. I can move a lot more fluid in the shorts. The tights are a tiny bit more restricting, just because like my legs are a lot longer. So it's like, and like my hips too. Like I really enjoy like getting like a lot of movement in my hips, like especially like the kicks and stuff. That's why I feel like the bikers. I think that's why I move so well in the trunks too. So I don't know, maybe one day I might go back to the trunks, or I might bring out the tights, maybe like a one-time only thing, or maybe I might come back for maybe a G1 only. I'll wear the tights. But who knows? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, right now, I mean, it's the same gear. I mean, honestly, it's the same style, same design, and you look great. And for what you're doing, like, yeah, you're running the ropes and you make that kick. that's gotta be so difficult in tights to run ropes and then kick and like it's gotta be difficult to do all that.
Yeah, like I hit the rope so hard, like sometimes it will bruise my back.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the way I run, like it takes people like 3 or 4 steps to go across the ring. It takes me 2.
Wow.
Like if I'm like running like my fastest, it'll take 2 steps.
Wow.
So
Callum,
like the tights kind of restrict it a bit.
okay, that's fair. You know, because like I don't know, I feel like the tights were for me as a fan. It's like again because I watched you back, you know, way back when you started off wrestling, and then even right before you signed with New Japan, before you did the Young Lion stuff, you wore you know the tights, and I was like, oh wow, we're finally getting a Callum, you know, the one who versed Nick Wayne, like things like that. Like, oh, actually, no, you're wearing biker shorts with Nick Wayne, if I'm not wrong, but yeah, you know, you wore tights for a long time in your career as well, but it makes sense now to go to the biker shorts because of the way you wrestle, because of your technique. It makes a lot of sense. Callum, with New Japan, one last thing I want to talk about is the goals. I think you and Okan are a great tag team, and I think you and the United Empire would be great six-way, six tag team champs. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what are your goals for the year. What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to see yourself? What are we doing?
I want another Ishii singles match. I want another singles match to prove myself. I think. I want one like away from the G1, just so people are like, let's see how much Callum's grown from the G1. Let's see how like tough he is. Let's see how mentally, how much like stronger I am. Technique, just everything. I want to strive in singles matches more, and I want to maybe just like form a tag team with one of the boys in Empire, just to because all the boys together are great, but I feel like it's just the catch-22s, like the junior tag team. I feel like Empire needs like a real strong, like all the time. Here's the heavyweight tag team.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's cool that we can always interchange and switch out. It's still going to be a strong tag team. But then I think maybe Hanaro. I want to look into tagging with him more. Like I think that'd be such an overpowered tag team.
Yeah, you know, honestly, you Okan, you Cobb, you Hanare, like any mix of that would be insane. You know what I mean? Any type of that would be great to see. And you and Hanare would definitely be. I think Hanare would definitely push you to your limits, and I think that's one of the guys that like you know you definitely want on your side when you're having a tag team match. A guy who can finish a match, freaking cut open, like that's the guy you need.
Watching him kick the living shit out of Hiromu and Hurricane, I genuinely felt sad for Hiromu.
Let's talk about the fun stuff now. We gotta talk about Spider-Man. Let's talk about Marvel. Yeah, let's do it. So what did you see what I sent you? I sent you the Andrew Garfield thing. Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, that was sick.
You've never seen that before?
No, it was the first time. I think I might have seen like a Stan Lee at Comic Con thing, but never that.
That's why I think Andrew is the perfect Spider-Man. I feel like no one else can relate to that mindset that Andrew had as Spider-Man. I feel like Toby saw it as like a payday. Tom probably saw the newer style Spider-Man. I think Andrew's like the only one who like grew up the same way as we did, looking up to Spider-Man. Like that was like the Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
So what have you been watching? What have you been like looking into? What has been outside of wrestling? Because wrestling can't be everything. Wrestling can't be the only thing that what else has had your interest? The new Sonic movies coming out. We're finally getting a live action Shadow. That's got to be awesome. What do you think about that?
Dude, I'm so excited. Like, I'm like gonna sprint to the cinema to watch it. I hope it's in English. Actually, no, they do have English movies here.
Oh, they do?
So
like in English? Japan has theaters that are. That's cool.
They have like the English and they have the hiragana subtitles, the kanji subtitles. So like, quite blessed for that. I watch movies. I skateboard quite a lot. I don't do tricks. I just like going on my skateboard and like cruising around the streets at night. Play on my Switch, play on the play. Dude, I fucking love Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter's my shit. Like I play like Hogwarts Legacy quite a lot.
That's like the free world. That's the free world, right? We get to roam and like that's like
Dude,
GTA Harry Potter style, basically, right? It's like
literally, yeah. Like I'll go up to the bit where I can have Buckbeak, so I just spend most of my time going around the map flying on Buckbeak. Dude, I fucking love it. Yeah, that's what I usually do.
What do you think of the whole Harry Potter world right now? Do you think if they make movies, they should focus on like side characters or like other shows, or I think they should just reboot the whole thing?
I don't want them to reboot it. I don't know. I feel like it's not done, but they might have done everything they could, unless they do like a Peacemaker series, but it's like Tom Riddle, like his backstory, that kind of like a well, do you know like the Toy Story shorts?
Yeah,
it's like kind of like that, but it's like everyone's kind of backstory. I think that's something that could be cool, like a Snape, a Dumbledore. Like, I reckon that could be real cool.
Like kind of like the newest Hunger Games movie, like how they did that one. Did you watch the newest Hunger Games movie?
Yeah.
The newest one, the one where it's about Snow, but Snow's like a teenager, like Snow's a kid.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
So it's cool because they did a movie where it's like part one is Snow, part two is like the first winner of the actual Hunger Games. It's cool how they did that. Like you can literally see where they cut the movie, and it's like time jump 10 years, or it's like on the other side of the planet. Like it literally will like tell you that, which is cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, I would something like that in Harry Potter style. You brought up Peacemaker, and it's cool you bring up Peacemaker since that's John Cena, and you know it's DC. The one thing I love about wrestling is that somehow the superhero universe is connected to it, and I like that one way or another. Did you ever watch the show Arrow?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on Stephen Amell getting to wrestle Christopher Daniels at All In, or even Stardust at SummerSlam, or tag with the Bucks at Ring of Honor? Did you ever watch any of that stuff?
I've seen clips. I've never seen like a full match, but like he done like just to get in the ring. He done a springboard. Like this is cool, but he definitely like ruined it for everyone else, like celebrity wise, that want to do a match. Because he's banging out dives, going through the table, springboards, and like, I mean, I don't think it's going to top a Snoop Dogg people's elbow, but like, if a celebrity wants to come in and do like an actual match, they're going to have to somehow top him, like fucking Stephen Amell, because I think that's like the standard. Not even the standard. That's like the peak so far of celebrity wrestling.
You know, he just had a show come out. Punk was in it. It's on Netflix. I don't know how much shows you watch lately. It's called Heels. You know, it was originally on like Stars. I watched it. When I tell you it's like it's such a good show. Like such a good show. It brings wrestling to such a light that it doesn't really get. If you never check it out, definitely something to check out. If you're an Arrow fan, you'd definitely like it. It's like very, very Stephen Amell aspect type of show.
I have to look because Japan Netflix is a lot different to UK and America.
But I thought
I just finished.
But isn't it like if you log in, you can pick where you're located? Isn't that like how it is? Like where you, or is it literally where your CV service or whatever? That's where it connects. I don't know. Netflix is hard.
I think it's that.
Really? Interesting.
I just finished watching a mini doc series on Dump Matsumoto. That was that gives an insight in like 70s and 80s All Japan Joshi Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
That was real good.
Oh wow, yeah, I saw the Netflix did documentary about that recently. Like it just came out. It's like a new thing that just came out, right? I don't know if
like 5 episodes.
I don't know. I have to check to see if we have that. I have to look and see if my Netflix has that. What else? What else has been going through? What in the Marvel universe has been really getting your eye on, or topic? What is like the one conversation? Because I have so many. I have my friend. What is like the one debate you have? For me, there's one debate and then I want to hear your debate. One debate that I hold dearly is that Galactus should not be a one-off villain for a Marvel movie. Like a Fantastic Four, the new one, bringing Galactus.
Dude, he should. He's so boring.
You really? You don't think? Okay, here we're starting now.
Galactus is boring as fuck.
You wouldn't want to see them slowly bring him in to the final phase where everyone has to like fight this guy, and you rather see the Fantastic Four, these four, average, and I'm gonna say average. I don't think there's anything special about the Fantastic Four. Fight this ginormous guy. Like I don't see how that's possible.
I just think he's a very boring character. He's just this giant dude, and like he makes Earth seem like the size of a fucking basketball. Opens his gob and destroys the planet. Sweet. What else you been, mate? Oh, that's it. Oh, cool. And then you got Fantastic Four, which they're not that special. Like they're not that great, but somehow they beat him. Then Silver Surfer could be cool, maybe. Like. I think that's more the character you need to like explore a little bit. But yeah, Galactus is boring as fuck.
Okay, what about you? What debate that you have with your friends that you stand with? Because I want to hear. Mine is Galactus, and I agree. I will say this: if you tell me what does Galactus offer, I'll be like, well, he's just the eater of worlds. Like there is nothing really about Galactus that you can say other than the fact that like. He slowly comes. Like imagine every movie you slowly get to see him. That's the kind of. But then when the actual final movie comes out, it's like, what do you want to do with it? Not much.
Trying to think. Usually I'll have the debates with like my best mates, and we ain't had one in a while. Fuck. Because like my Danny Black, he like collects. Like Marvel action figures, so I usually talk to him quite.
Listen, that's awesome to collect Marvel figures because it's an endless collection. You know what I mean? If you got the space for it, that's. Do you collect anything? Like, again, now that you're in Japan, you got no time for this. But like before, were you into the figurines or especially like the cool thing about Japan though is you get to see stuff that like you'll never find. Like you'll literally see like a statue of Goku life size. And like you won't find that anywhere else. Like that's sick.
Yeah, like you get like in Fukuoka, like these big kind of like transformer things. They're real cool. I don't really do much. I like stickers. I like putting stickers on my suitcase. Like I'm really big into stickers. Stickers and like I really like weird socks. Don't know why. Just any like cool like character like socks. They're in my laundry bag. So like, I got these socks with like Buzz Lightyear and Woody on it. And there's another pair that's got Donald Duck and Woody on it. I love it. I'm trying to think, what debate did we have?
Yeah, come on. I want to hear it. I want it to be a good debate. I want it to be an interesting debate. It could be something that you and your friends talk about, something that you and Will talk about, something that you and United Empire boys talk about. It doesn't have to be Marvel related, but it could be pop culture related. I know you and Will have a lot of like similarities. When I met Will, we talked about a bunch of stuff very similar. There's got to be something that a little brother, older brother definitely disagree on.
I'm just trying to like go through the names in my head. Deadpool, Wolverine, Storm, Spider-Man, Hulk. I had a debate once with someone saying that like Hawkeye is like actually the smartest on the Avengers.
You agree or you disagree with that?
I think when he was Ronin, that's when he could like fuck people up. In general, he's like, because the little pack of arrows, I reckon he could fuck anyone up. Like he's got something for everyone, so I reckon he could. I reckon he's a lot smarter than he puts on. But then like he's got his limits because it is like once the arrows are gone, like he's kind of just got to go hand to hand. It's like he ain't gonna go hand to hand with anyone. But if he's got like enough arrows, he's got a little, I don't know, like a Santa sack full of arrows, he'll be fine. But yeah, I think when he's Ronin, like once again, like he's locked in, he'll fuck anyone up. Like I reckon Captain America would have a decent fight. Iron Man, fucked. Hulk, I reckon he'd outsmart him, but he couldn't beat him. Like he'd be able to get away. Like Vision, same thing. I reckon he'd be able to get away. Thor. I don't think he'd be able to beat Thor.
You know, it's funny you say that because in the original Thor movie, he actually he made an appearance and he hit Thor with his arrow and it like put him unconscious. Yeah. So he actually knocked out Thor because Thor didn't have the hammer. So and he like hit him right in the temple, I think, because he aimed for it and it like knocked. Yeah, no, Hawkeye is very overlooked. One of my favorites, and honestly, the whole Ronin thing. I would have loved a solo movie. I would have loved a TV series, which they made a joke about it when someone put on the Ronin suit and all that. But I really think the biggest miss Marvel did with that was they have a Thunderbolt series, which is like the anti-Avengers. And if we didn't get Ronin a part of that team, that was like one of the biggest misses. I feel like Ronin would have fit perfectly with the assassin, free to kill type of like. It sucks. It sucks that they went for like a more of like a father figure for Hawkeye instead of like more of like a badass type of Hawkeye we could have got. As far as the TV series, have you been watching like the Moon Knight stuff, the Daredevil stuff? There's a bunch of stuff coming together very soon.
It took me ages to get to Moon Knight, but I enjoyed that quite a lot. I didn't watch Daredevil. Really enjoyed Arrow. I really enjoyed Flash until like the recent series. They got very boring.
Yeah. The CW stuff. For me, Arrow got kind of boring when they like stopped making it realistic. So as soon as they start doing like a bunch of like fantasy stuff, it kind of fell over. And Flash should have ended with Savitar. I think was a cool story, or like something. You're probably saying even before, right? You think it should have ended even before Savitar, right? Or after?
I would have been happy if they ended it on Zoom.
Zoom, right? Yeah, that was
like fucking. Was it like Reverse Flash gets revealed, whatever? Then fucking Zoom comes in and starts fucking killing everyone. Then they have like little side villains and whatever. Like then they started bringing in like fucking Godspeed and all these other Flashes and shit. I'm like,
they messed up with Godspeed. And I was.
Why was he jacked? Why are you jacked?
Yeah, in my opinion, they could have done again. There's certain characters that they probably shouldn't bring up. Like the final one, I don't know if you watched it. It was like the Batman alternate Flash. It's like a mix of Batman and Flash, and I feel like that needed so much more time than what they did. Like they literally brought in Batman as the villain. It's just an alternate world where Batman has Flash's powers. Like that's really what it was. That like it was literally the bat symbol and everything. It is what it is. But yeah, the thing you're talking about with Zoom is when like they find out that their friend, the one that supposed to, like the way they find out Jay Garrick isn't Jay Garrick, and then he just comes and kills Barry's father like right in front of him. Like that was insane. Yeah, that was probably the top peak for Flash. Man,
stuff like that's cool.
We're living in a good time when it comes to these, Marvel, DC, all this stuff. I do want to know, because like, I talked to Will, and he's definitely got his opinions on stuff. What is one thing that older brother, younger brother argue with all the time when it comes to pop culture reference? When it comes to anything related to Marvel, DC, video games, what is one argument that you guys can literally, like if I bring the, like the fact that I am talking about this can start this argument all over again. Like one that you have constantly. Like me and my brother will argue about something and we'll hold it to our last dying word. Like we're gonna keep this. And we're gonna put this on our graves that we're gonna keep that. Like what is something that you will never concede? You'll never you agree with this and that's that. And it's the last question. And we'll leave it with that. So I'll let you think about this really deeply, and then we'll leave it with that. So you don't have. So this is like the final nail in the coffin.
Oh, okay. You know the new Miles Morales movie with like the Spider-Verse?
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
I genuinely think the Spider-Verse is overrated. There's
So-
too many. There's too many variants.
So,
Like, it was like, no, there's all these different Spider-Man. I'm like, nah, there's too. Like, fucking give me Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen. Give me some funny ones like Spider-Ham. I got a sticker of Spider-Ham on my carry case. Like, he's a funny one. But then there's like fucking Spider-Horse. Cool, it's funny, but I don't need that image in my head. Like, Spider-Man's meant to be fucking full, not a fucking horse.
So Will disagrees. Will thinks that there's never enough Spider-Man.
I think he said like maybe like it's a good thing to have, but I think he's like, no, it's cool to have this like imagination once. I'm like, no, there's too fucking many. And that's like some of my friends have had that conversation as well. Like, no, it's like, but no, it's funny, it's good. I'm like, no, it's fuck, I hate it. I'm like, no, just give me a block set plus a couple others, not 400 more.
So you like the original Spider-Verse movie rather than the new one, rather than this one with 2099?
Yeah, this 2099 is cool, but he's like too cool to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a nerd. No, there was cool ones like the Spider Noir was cool. The one with the robot was cool.
You know, we're getting a series of Spider-Man Noir. We're getting like an actual series with the actual voice, not even lines here. Yeah, we're getting a Black Noir series with the actual voice actor who plays Spider-Man Noir, like the actual. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. We'll see, because it's gonna be. It's by the same. It's on the same network as Invincible and The Boys. So.
Oh, sweet.
All right. I think that's really it. I know you're like dead tired. I think how long has it been? We started maybe 2 hours around there.
Yeah, about that.
Well, listen, I could do this for so much longer, but I do care about you, and I could see that you're like, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to be up till 3 in the morning.
I'm real sorry. We had like a 6-hour drive today.
Dude, don't apologize for anything. Honestly, dude, the fact like no one knows how much Callum Newman has helped me out throughout these last like couple of weeks. Callum has been nothing but the actual best person to contact and schedule. Like, this guy's impossible right now to have any free time to do anything, yet he made time for me. And I truly appreciate that. And I know the fans listening are so happy. And like I said, me and Callum, I love talking to Callum. I literally sent him stuff that we just talked about. I was like, yo, here, this is what I wanted to. Callum is great. He's phenomenal. He's great. Callum, you're one of the best. You know, don't change.
That's right.
Be yourself. And plug everything you want to plug so people can help you out. Where can people watch you? What should people purchase to watch you? You know, where's the merch? You know, talk about it. And if you want to plug in your social media, listen, follow him, but don't contact him. That's kind of the plan here.
You can just stay on nice. I probably won't see it.
Be nice.
Prince of Pace _ see on everything. If you want to watch me, New Japan World, NewJapanShop.com maybe for merch, Prince of Pace t-shirts, United Empire t-shirts. I may be coming to a town near you. I don't know when, but maybe. Yeah. If you ever watch me, crack open a pack of gummy bears, have a great time, have fun. That's all I can ask for.
I remember me and Callum, we ended this off the first attempt. Callum was like, what do people usually say? Like what do you want me to say at the end of all this? I have the perfect thing, and I think you said it, but I know you probably forgot, so I'm gonna say it. And if you see Callum, you can only meet him if you have a pack of gummy bears. Haribo, gummy bears, you gotta bring it. It's like when you go to the zoo, and again, no disrespect, when you go to the zoo, you can't just see a talent or an animal and not give anything. You gotta get gummy bears. You gotta feed. You gotta protect. That's what you gotta do. So pack of gummy bears. That's what you got to do if you want to meet Callum.
Not even gummy bears, just your favorite kind of gummy sweet, and I'll be your friend. Honestly, I'm like a puppy. Like, fucking, I look horrible. Like, I look miserable all the time. That's just my normal face. I'm sorry. Everyone asks me, like, are you in a bad mood today? I'm like, just my face. Like, it's just how I look. I'm sorry. But then I start eating some sweets and I perk up a little bit and they're like, oh, well, hello, mate. You're here now. I've cooked in now. Don't worry, boys.
So if you're nervous to meet him, just pack of sweets. That will start off the right kind of.
Dude, I'm a child. Give me any kind of sweet. I'm happy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for Callum Newman coming on the show. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.